Okay, so next up, Rachel Dolezal, NAACP leader. Have you seen these pictures, Fun Dip?
Yeah, I just looked through on the internet and found a couple of them on Twitter.
I got to tell you, in this one...
Everybody knows you never go full retard.
I get the impression that she wants to look like the woman from Saturday Night Live, Minnie Riperton's daughter.
No, well, I was going to say, I heard the story, right? And as it's breaking right now, I expected to see like some biracial sort of Halle Berry kind of look. You know, cheating, blurring. It's not even close.
You mean I'm going to stay this color?
She looks like a whiter version of that cousin from Arrested Development. She's like, and she even went with a really bad tan. It's like Snooki with a Beyonce wig. And if you're gonna go,
is that a wig or did she get a perm?
Well, here's the thing. She's very clever if you see the pictures because she got a perm, but then she did like the brown hair, kind of like when black women try to dye their hair brown as opposed to black. So she's really getting into the role. I mean, you look at it, she went full Wanda Sykes. I don't know.
That's the woman I'm thinking of from Saturday Night Live.
That's
she
the
looks
one
just like her.
There's some gorgeous black women out there, and I guess she thought the Wanda Sykes thing was the most convenient. Here's what I find very telling, and people are going to get mad later on. So if you're watching this online, the show broadcasts from 6 to 9 a.m. And you can subscribe to the podcast, a 3-hour show. And this is likely to change. But the top 3 hashtags now for hours have been Rachel Dolezal, transracial, and wrong skin.
No, there's one other one today that's pretty big.
What?
Jurassic World.
Well, yeah, Jurassic World. I'm talking about, just don't derail this. There's no need to derail this. The point is, these are the 3 top hashtags right now, okay? And no liberal website, not one, is covering it. HuffPo, Vox, Slate, Salon, Media Matters, nothing. I've got them in front of me. And,
man,
you know this story broke out and they just had to convene and say, oh my gosh, which victimhood status supersedes the other one? What do we do?
It is confusing to try and navigate in today's society.
Well, I'll tell you why. Because I'll tell you exactly why. In trying to blur and completely eliminate gender lines while widening America's racial divide through identity politics, they're creating that line with a giant Sharpie. Leftists have found themselves, I mean, they're in a real dichotomy here because it's this transracial movement. And even though this may not be transracial, let's be fair, she could just be lying to get a leg up. There is an actual transracial movement, enough for it to hashtag. As it begins to take shape, leftists have to make a decision. Are they racist in supporting this blackface charade, or are they transracial phobic in not supporting this blackface charade? They have to pick one of them. There can be no other choice. And a big part of this, I know you're on the transgender side of the movement, but in painting anyone who logically opposes the neo-transgender movement by painting them as hateful, now leftists they've painted themselves into a real corner. That's where they're finding themselves.
Yeah. Now, the way I figure, if I were to be able to get and improve my race to something different, it would be a race lift. That's where they need to go. If they're going to go with this, there should be, surgeries for it. And you get a race lift, you go where you need to go.
Well, you can't say that if someone's soul is a woman and they're a man, then you can't say, well, if my soul is black. How do you tell them no? How do you tell them no?
I did grow up on a lot of Motown music.
Yeah, you grew up in Livonia.
Yeah, but I can pick up 13.
It's incredibly white. Well, you do play the bass. I think that's a prerequisite if you're a black male.
Yeah, there we go. I'm rocking.
But this is just, please, leftists, the overreach is glorious. Continue with the overreach. And by the way, anyone listening, podcast, YouTube watching, remember this when leftists say, oh, so you're saying that black people are feminists or transgender, that they're out there reaching, trying to achieve victim status for political gain. You really think they do that? That's absurd. Here you go. This is obviously an extreme example.
I'm going to play the Newfie card.
Play the Newfie card. This girl, who was white, wanted to claim to be black to be able to use the race card, the victim status. She wanted
what's her face claimed to be Native American too, to get
Warren.
Yeah.
Well, she made a living. This one made a living off of it with the NAACP. She talked about experiencing the chains of her forefathers, said her father was black, about being pulled over while black. This is what people want now. And you talked about this, Fundip, in your rant against fat pride. In
All pride.
And oh yeah, fat pride,
Don't be
gay
proud
pride,
of anything
black
unless you
pride.
worked at it.
Exactly. In trying to create identity, not through your actions, not through your accomplishments, leftists have given people pride in things they were born with. People now aren't seeking out, I guess, acts of valor. For example, kids wanted to become war heroes because I'm going to be proud, like Grandpa on D-Day, or at that point, like Dad on D-Day. I want to be
Lieutenant
a fireman.
Dan, who wanted to die like all of his ancestors.
Lieutenant Dan?
Yeah, remember
of course.
he had an uncle that died in the Civil War, a great uncle that died. He said and when Forrest saved him in Forrest Gump, he was brokenhearted.
That's true. We have to get Gary on the show. The point is, people no longer take pride in their actions and their principles. They're told they're supposed to take pride in gender, in race. And so that's what people now strive for, to be black, to be gay, to be transgender, to be whatever this is. There is an overreach. Leftism right now has overreached. They've jumped the shark.
You went full retard, man. Never go full retard.
Hey, if you like this, be sure to subscribe by clicking my face here on YouTube, clicking the video next to me, or subscribe on iTunes, SoundCloud, or louderwithcrowder.com. It's all free, and I'm sure many of you will still find a reason to bitch about it.